Hello everyone, welcome to Chat Night Africa. Chat Night Africa live from Washington DC metropolitan area. This is Chat Night Africa live. Chat Night Africa live about to begin. Chat Night Africa. Chat Night Africa live about to begin. This is Chat Night Africa. This is Chat Night Africa live about to begin. This is Chat Night Africa about to begin. This is Chat Night Africa live from Washington DC metropolitan area. This is Chat Night Africa live. This is Chat Night Africa live about to begin. This is Chat Night Africa live. This is Chat Night Africa live. This is Chat Night Africa live, and your host is Divine Chamukon. You will like what you are going to hear on the show. And my guest today, Geraldine. That's my guest on the show. Chat Night Africa live about to begin. Invite your friends, share that. This is Chat Night Africa live. Chat Night Africa live. This is Chat Night Africa live. If it matters to you, it matters to us. Yes, that's Chat Night Africa. The power of Chat Night Africa. Share, invite, and tag your friends. We will blow up this platform this week on Chat Night Africa. And my guest, Geraldine. This is Chat Night Africa live. Share, invite your friends, tag. We will touch your heart today with the content of the show. This is Chat Night Africa. If it matters to you, it matters to us. The power of Chat Night Africa. This is Chat Night Africa. Thank you, Veronica Fortune, for sharing the broadcast. This is Chat Night Africa, live from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And the music is by Pap Bali. The title is Samba. Yes, you listening to Samba on Chat Night Africa Live. In just a moment, Jerry Coombe will come on, spitting fire on this platform. This is Chat Night Africa. And this music is called Samba. This is Chat Night Africa Live from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Straight talk on matters that matter. If it matters to you, if a subject matters to you, yes, it matters to us. That's the power of Chat Night Africa. In just a moment, I will be inviting Geraldine Coombe. That's my guest today on Chat Night Africa. This is Chat Night Africa. Yes, Jerry, I see you on. I will be sending you a request to join in a moment. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this effervescent seismic broadcast, Chat Night Africa Live. In just a moment, I will be inviting Jerry. That's my guest, Jerry. Jerry is on. I can see her. And you must be wondering, what is it that we want to talk about today? Have you ever tried hanging out with negative people? Well, some people call it the power of association. You feel like your energy, the last drop of it in your body, is being sucked out. You feel like you want to jump down from a high rise and commit suicide. Let me ask you, have you also been in the company of people who are positive? You feel like some energy shots have been given you. Either way, there is a consequence. Have you realized that there are people who are just complaining about every other person, gossiping, negative people about other people? People who are so irritable, the slightest thing just offends them. Have you realized that? Well, for those trying to call me now, I cannot take any call because I know people are trying to call me. So have you realized that there are people in the world who are just unable to say, I am sorry, when they are wrong? What is it that makes people, or some people, hold on so long to anger? What does it do to them? Well, this evening, or today on the show, I have a guest. This woman, wherever she sets foot or she sets her feet, there is fireworks. She lights up the audience. She just makes everybody feel good. So what is the Jerry magic? Ladies and gentlemen, this conversation will touch you. Watch out. If you are a cardiac patient, this show is not for you. Share this broadcast. I am about now to link up with Jerry. Yes, Jerry, I'm seeing you. I'm going to take you right now. Geraldine is about to appear on my platform. This is Chat Night Africa Live from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. This is Jerry. Hello, Geraldine.
Hello, Divine.
I am so glad to have you on the show today.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to be on board. I'm excited to come and share, my experiences with everybody. And thank you. And, sorry for, coming in late.
No, you didn't come in late. I was the one who was introducing the song and playing the music, just getting people to have a good time. Geraldine, are you ready for some tough questions tonight?
Oh, yes, I am. You bet. I am ready for, the fun, the entertainment, and to share, my experiences with everybody this evening.
And there's something somebody who knows you very well said about you. I want to ask your permission before I ask you the question. Would you like me to say that? To tell you what that gentleman thinks about you?
Sure, not a problem.
Well,
not a problem,
the
Divine.
saying goes, Geraldine, that be careful what you ask for. You might not like what you get. But this time around, I tell you, you will like what you get. This is what a gentleman told me. He knows you very well. He says, Divine, what is it that is the secret of Geraldine Nchotu? I said, what do you mean? He told me that every time he sees you, you are wearing a smile in your face. You are lifting him up. When he meets you, he doesn't want to go home to his family. This is not somebody from Africa. And I'm not going to call his name here because some people may know him. But this is somebody who just sees something rare in Geraldine Nchotu. Geraldine, the question, what is your secret? That every day looks about the same to you. It doesn't look like there are mountains and valleys and plains in your life. What's it that you, by the way, do you understand why this guy asked that question? Do you understand?
Not quite, but one thing I realized, I've heard that before. Yeah, a lot of, co-workers, acquaintances, they've told me that before. And Divine, thank you, by the way, for inviting me this evening. And I cannot, start without saying that, this is because I'm a strong woman, I was a strong woman from the word go. I think all of this.
This is Chat Night Africa. And please don't call Geraldine. I know that you like Geraldine's company. Don't call her. I'm sure that a call must have come to her phone. Do not call her. This is Chat Night Africa. And my guest today is Geraldine Nchotu. We will be talking about the power of association and lots of other things. So Geraldine, I can understand that somebody must have. Please do not call. Geraldine will be coming back on momentarily, and we will, as you have realized, we'll be talking about a lot of things. Let me try again to get in touch. Stay right where you are. I'll be trying to get in touch with you. I know that people are trying to reach you, and yes. Hey, are you hearing me?
Yes, I am. And
I also hear you. I also hear you very well, and I'm not surprised, Geraldine, that people are trying to talk to you, because, like I said, everywhere you go, you light up the place like Christmas tree. So do you understand why this guy praises you so effusively? Do you understand?
Divine, like I said, first I want to thank that guy, whoever he is. But, I've heard this before, and I think it comes from my tapping from the power that is, that is, from my creator, because of my life experiences, Divine. I've been through so much, I've had a lot of, valley and mount up experiences in life, experiences that have made me realize that there is a power that goes beyond me, that comes from my creator, that, if I look up to him and lean on him for like everything that I am and, the very essence of my life, I've come to realize that, it makes me a happier person when I lean from that power, when I tap my energy from that power. I look at everybody like myself, I look at myself and my life, hey, my life is not, my life is not all that perfect, because some people look and they say, hey, does all of this stem from you not having any problems? And that makes me laugh, Divine, because people who are close to me, they know the storms that have hit me in my life. But because I don't lean, on those problems, I don't let them define me anymore, because I realize you cannot change the things that happen to you in life, but you can change who you are, because you can use these problems to make you, to build you up to be a stronger person instead of, putting yourself in the place of a victim. So I think that's where, all that, happiness comes from. It comes
Thank
from
you.
that power. Yeah.
I have a follow-up question, and I'm sure that Mrs. Veronica Fortune, first of all, Veronica, thank you for sharing this broadcast to your many, many followers. Please, if you like what you're hearing, share the broadcast. I'm sure she's a minister of the gospel. She would agree with me that in the church, you have a lot of grouchy people, complaining people, negative people. So, Geraldine, how is it that experiences in your life didn't change you, didn't turn you from being that light-hearted, cheerful lady into that grumpy, grouchy, negative, complaining person? Why didn't the experiences change you?
That is a beautiful question. Really, really beautiful. And to me, my explanation, my answer, my response to this question is that, I have, I've read a lot of books, a lot of motivational books that helped me realize that, none of us was born grouchy. Nobody was born happy, to be very happy, as time goes on, your experiences change you, the things that you experience in life, either from the books you read or from the people you hang around. And then also, it's true that churches, as much as people go to church to get, a positive message, they still end up, some people still end up to be very negative because they have closed their mind to change. But, for those who have embraced change, who have embraced the idea of wanting to change, it transforms you when you are open to, new ideas that will help grow you. Like they say that renew your mind every day. If you listen to some positive things and, let them simmer inside of you, and then gradually you start pushing away those negative ideas, it will, help you to be a better person. But the grouchy people are people who are not open. They have decided to close their minds on new ideas. They're like, it's like they see themselves like living in a desert where there's no water. They don't have anything good to, to grasp on. So they focus on the negative. And when you focus on the negative, it tends to grow. Like they say, whatever you feed will grow. So if you feed the negative, it makes you grumpy, it makes you grouchy. You look at people irritate you, you get irritated over, little things. Meanwhile, on the contrary, if you look at, life in a positive light, you separate yourself from your circumstances, because I know life happens to everybody. Everybody is hit as long as you're alive. One thing or the other will hit you, and you have to realize that bad things happen to good people. As long as you don't realize that, you end up, blaming people for the things that are happening to you, and it will make you grumpy and grouchy. But I chose to shut that out of my life, Divine. I chose to close that page and separate my circumstances from myself.
You are watching Chat Night Africa, and I'm talking to an extraordinary woman, and that's the whole purpose of this program. Chat Night Africa meets ordinary people with extraordinary experiences. And if these experiences matter to you, they matter to Chat Night Africa Live. Thank you, Francis, for also sharing this broadcast. Geraldine, relationships are about dealing with imperfect people, because at no point in time we can make the people that we want to associate with. You just mentioned something, the power of association, the people you associate with. Question to you. Have you ever tried hanging out with people who are negative, grouchy, complaining? And how does it feel like?
Oh, yes, I have. Life is full of roses and thorns. Wherever there are roses, you find thorns. Wherever you have positive people, you'll find negative people. That you cannot avoid. And for me, it's easy to discern, who a negative person is. Because, 5 minutes into their space, you can tell from the energy. You can tell either they're complaining about something or they have nothing positive to say either about other people. And sometimes you'll be surprised. I met somebody who one time told me that, I'm a very negative person. That I found that really, really funny. For somebody
it's strange
to
say, me. I'm perplexed. Yeah. I find that perplexing.
Yeah, he told me. He was very outspoken. He said that, you know what? for me, I always look at things from a positive mindset. And I was like, wow.
That's what he cannot understand about you.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, really? You're negative and you know, and you affirm it, because some people are negative, they don't know they're negative. But you know, if you know you are negative, it's all a work in progress where you can walk it. Because once upon a time, divine, I cannot stand here and say that, you know, I was always a positive person. No, no, no. There was a point in my life when I myself, you know, I remember I passed through one summer without seeing any sunshine, because I was at a place in my life where, you know, I had, you know, so many storms hitting me, and I was living the storm. You know, all I saw was the storm that was hitting me. I didn't see anything else. You know, other people out there were seeing me like somebody who is all that, you know, fine. You know, once in a while I used to struggle to smile, but I was living in a stormy situation until I got to a point where, divine, I said, enough is enough, because I realized it was sucking my energy. I was not the same person to my children, you know, because once I should become negative, even people around you, they will get hit by, you know, that negativity. I wasn't the smiling person that you know me to be now. I was not happy even around my children. Nothing made me happy. And I came to realize that, you know what, it was instead taking away from me. It was taking away my energy. It was taking away my joy. And, you know, I've come to realize in life that, divine, time wasted is never gained. Any time that you lost, we are in this, you know, we are on a one-way street. Any time that you waste, you will never get it back. So I said, you know, enough is enough, Geraldine. I had to sit up and seek for help. And that help can only come from myself. So I started looking at books, you know, that can help me grow myself. I started listening to tapes to help me, you know, develop myself as to become a positive person. So each time I meet a negative person, you know, I feel sorry for them. And sometimes even if you recommend to them, you know, some things that can help them, they take it in a very negative way because they are not open to any change. So all I
Geraldine,
can do is,
let me ask you this question. Usually people don't come on social media to say they faced challenges at one time or the other in their lives. What is it that you want to achieve by coming on chat night to say, hey, look, there were times in your life that storms hit you, turbulence, you were in turbulence, like you're flying and boom, 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 boom. You get hit with life's turbulence. What are you trying to achieve by doing this?
oh, wow, that's a really great question. You know, I always like to use myself as an example because you know, it will help people relate with that because, you know, I'm a real person in a real world. You know, I don't want to claim like I'm somebody who just dropped from, you know, above, dropped from the skies. You know, we live in a real world and the real world has real people with real circumstances. So I want people to be able to relate to me. That's why, you know, I'm giving myself, I'm not ashamed of, you know, the mistakes I made, of, you know, like I said, I've never been a perfect person. I'm still working on myself up till date. So I want people who are listening to this program to relate with me as to where I'm coming from, so that if anybody is in that position where I used to be, this can help them realize that you can, you know, change from that person you are to somebody, a better person. I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be.
I like that statement. I like that. I'm going to write that on my face. Hey guys, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not also where I used to be. I love that. Now, the reason why we're having this conversation, Jerry, is so that people feel uplifted. That if you are going through the storms of life, don't think that others haven't been there before. That these experiences, those who believe in the scriptures, Jesus said in life, there'll be trials and tribulations. In other words, there are times in life that it feels like bricks are being thrown all over you, all over your face. It does happen. You survived it, Geraldine. This person, this woman, this person who just lost his job or her job, or any other circumstance in life, you too can survive it. Geraldine, I want to share an experience with you. Once I found myself in the company of some complaining person. You know what that does? If you don't walk away very quickly and respectfully, you can jump down the high rise with him. Yeah. You just get drained. You get tired. And one thing I notice is if somebody is in your company saying negative things about somebody to you, you bet you will be the subject of his or her negativity when he or she meets another person. So be careful. Here, let me ask you this. Why do a lot of people hold on to anger so much? What happens? What's happening? What do you think in your view? What do you think is the problem?
Yeah, that's an excellent, really, really excellent question. Really, really excellent. Yeah, like I said before, life experiences transforms us. It can change you to be a very positive person or a very negative person. You know, like they say in life, life is not about what happens to you, but it's about what happens inside of you. Because, life happens to everybody. Everybody gets hit at one time or the other by life circumstances. That is something that is beyond our control. Nobody has control over that. But if you let, what happens to you stay in you, it will grow into something else. Because, like I said, I always come back to myself, because if I use myself as an example, it will help people. Once upon a time, I was, you know, some things happened in my life, things that I had no control over. And I became, very bitter at some point. But it got to a point where, Divine, I realized that that bitterness, was developing like into a lump. I felt like there was a lump inside of me, for real. And that is why I believe when they say that some illnesses are caused by, maybe stress causes some illnesses, like some illnesses are stress related. Because when that bitterness, you let it grow in you, it will change you. Because whatever you have inside of you, Divine, as time goes on, when it builds up inside of you for a long time, it bursts out somehow. It will find an outlet, either verbally, from your, you will verbalize it to somebody. You will say something to somebody that will make them be like, wow. Or you yourself, you regret it after. Or your reaction, it will transform you. And sometimes it transforms you to the extent where physically it appears on you, on your outward appearance.
Very, very
So
true.
when people don't, yes, when people don't, you don't learn to separate your circumstances from your life. You have to learn to put it, because we have control over our lives. There are some things that we have control over. You don't have control over the way people react towards you, but you have control over how you react towards people.
Attitude is everything.
Attitude, yeah. So if you don't draw a line of demarcation and have standards for yourself and say, this I will not do. I will not treat other people the way I don't want to be treated. Period. Because before you say anything, if you think about it, you internalize it and say, you know what? If somebody tells me this, how will that make me feel? Then you will learn to, say things to other people that will make them feel good about themselves, because it comes from a place where, you're putting yourself in the other person's position instead of being selfish and, just trying to hurt people.
And the reason, when I decided to talk about this show with you, Geraldine, many people ask me, Divine, why is Chat Night interested in this? Here is the reason, if you're still wondering. Relationships are falling apart because of grouchy, angry behavior, because of negativity. People have lost their jobs because of that. And just a whole lot of things have happened, unfortunately, to a lot of people because of their attitude to life. And one of the attitudes to life, Geraldine, I'd like us to talk on this evening is the near impossibility for some people to say, I'm sorry. Do you realize, Geraldine, that there are people who just think that saying, I am sorry, or giving compliments to people is a sign of weakness? What is happening? What could be happening? That somebody just feels that they cannot say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, in my opinion, people, like I said, people who have issues with, something as little as saying I'm sorry. Because to me, it doesn't take away from you. I think it comes from them, feeling like pride. For instance, some people are too proud. They're like, fine, I realize I made a mistake, but you know what? I'm not going to say I'm sorry because that will bring me down. If you are that proud, then you will not be able to apologize to anybody. Meanwhile, instead it adds value to your character. You know, when somebody says, I'm sorry, honestly, it makes me realize that, you know, they are bigger than they actually, you know, seem to be. Because no, a little person will never say, I'm sorry. Even if it's, you know, you hurt a little child, you have to, it doesn't hurt. It's not condescending.
I also think, Geraldine, that one way of letting go anger, that angry nature, is by, you know, apologizing when you are wrong. And these are common things. They sound very commonplace. They sound like no-brainer, like they say in the United States. But you'll be surprised at how some people just think. And it's tearing down relationships.
Very true.
Imagine a husband who just doesn't think that it is for a man to say, I'm sorry to a woman. Or remember a wife who thinks, think of a wife who thinks saying, I'm sorry, when she offends her husband is some sign of weakness or transforms her into a doormat. You can imagine what happens in that kind of a home. You have two lions fighting.
Yep.
Yeah, you have two lions fighting. So if you're still wondering why we had to discuss this topic today, this is the reason. Okay. People lose jobs because of anger. People do things that they should not have, or they ordinarily wouldn't do, but they do it, they find themselves doing that because of anger. Geraldine, I went to Walmart someday and I saw two gentlemen dressed in nice suits, like what I'm punching each other. Guess what? Over what? Over a parking space. Can anything get more stupid that you have to go punch, fight, insult, curse people out because of a parking space?
Wow.
You can always walk away. Now, Geraldine, give me some examples of what holding on to anger would do to a human being.
Yep.
Speak to us, girl.
Wow. Two men going into a fist fight over a parking lot. Wow. That is mind-blowing. And, you know, actually, you know, let me add something, you know, just another example where, you know, a preacher once said, you know, two ladies were fighting in church over a sitting position.
Are people crazy or what?
Because one was claiming that was her spot. Yeah, one was claiming that was her spot that she sits on every Sunday. And then
seriously.
Yeah. So for me, you know, anger is something that honestly, you know, since I stopped, you know, because at the phase in my growth where I am right now, because I'll call it a phase, because I plan, you know, to grow some more. You know, the goal is to get better every day. You know, I've realized that, you know, when you are angry, you know, honestly, you bring illness upon yourself. Some people actually have palpitation. You know, you can actually have a, you know, heart attack from anger. I'm not in the medical field, Divine, but I know, like, each time I'm angry, my heartbeat kind of like quickens. I can feel my heart, my blood pumping.
So I'm going to interrupt you here, Jerry. So when you feel anger in you, how do you get that anger off? What leads you to being able to forgive that person who hurt you? What is it? How do you get out of an angry situation, and what leads you? What happens that you are able to very quickly forgive somebody who hurts you? Because forgiveness is not deserved. It's not. Somebody doesn't have to deserve your forgiveness.
Yeah.
So how do you get to that point that somebody hurts you and you're able to say, you know what, you hurt me, but I let go?
Yeah. I look at the big picture, because Divine, you know, I look at it like, you know, we have been forgiven. It's grace. We're here because of grace, right? It's the grace of God. We've been forgiven. We do things every day that, you know, are not right. And if we have been forgiven, then for me, why not forgive other people? Sometimes I walk away from circumstances that I know will push me, you know, into anger. I just up and leave. When I go, you know, stand somewhere, I either breathe in and out. Sometimes I take a piece of paper, write down whatever makes me angry. By the time I finish writing it, I realize that my anger is fading as my pen is writing. You know, the more I write, I say, okay, I write down points, like bullet points of why I'm angry. this, that. By the time I get to the end, I'm like, really? Then, sometimes Divine, the next day when I look at that piece of paper, I'm like, there really was not much to eat, because I walked away from it and then I wrote it down. So that is a good relief for me.
And I'm going to tell you what happens. Before you answer the next part of my question, how do you get to a point that you can forgive somebody who hurt you? This is how I handle anger. And let's be frank about it. All of us are human beings. There are going to be people who step on our last nerve. There are going to be people who do things to us and you turn around that even you too. But when I find myself in that kind of situation, Geraldine, I ask myself, is it worth it? Is getting angry worth it? What does anger do to me? It can get you into a very stressful situation that leads you into developing high blood pressure. And the daughter of high blood pressure is stroke. The granddaughter is death. So when you ask yourself all these questions, you begin to, the first thing that comes to your mind, is it worth it? It's not. Why allow that person to rent space in your mind? You see what I'm saying? And somebody gets angry to the point he jumps on the steering wheel and can knock down, kill some people. And then you get jailed, you get locked up in prison, and then you sit and you ask yourself, was it worth it? So, hey, you watching me. Yeah, go ahead, Geraldine.
Yep, and Divine, another thing. For me, if you let somebody make you really angry, then you're giving that person power. You're giving that person the power over you. If you know you own your power, which is what you all do, we all own our power. Because for me, I look at it like, I have to have control over myself. I can't let somebody control me. Because if you let people push you over the fence, I'm telling you, like you said, you can do some things or say some things, or even, get into some accident because of that person. Why? Because you gave that person the power over you. And for me, Divine, each time I feel like I'm crossing that line, I take back my power. It's simple. I'm like, you know what? This person is just another human being like me. Let me let them go for my own sake. Because you talked about forgiveness, I let it go, Divine, not because of that person, but because of my own self, because I know what that will do inside of me if I let it stay in me. Because it eats you up, and then you give that person, like you said, that person lives in your head rent-free, because you keep turning the issue in your mind. Why this person did this?
Guess what, Geraldine? The person is going about their life and you're getting angry, you go to bed, you cannot sleep because you are thinking about what to do to that person when you see him in church. Then you see him in church, you say, praise the Lord. You say, you are right, put those hands down. How dare you?
I know.
The person is having fun. The person is having fun, praise the Lord. So, see, here's what Nelson Mandela said once. When you would not let go anger, it's like you take poison and drink and expecting the person who hurt you to die. This is the problem. Yeah.
That's a good one. And another thing, adding on to what you said about Nelson Mandela, remember when he left jail, when he walked out of jail, there is some quote that he wrote. I cannot really quote it, the way he said it, but let me paraphrase it. He said, if he leaves jail without forgiving the people who have hurt him, then he will still be in jail. So without forgiveness, you put yourself in a jail, a mental jail. If you don't let go, then that means you reside in a jail without, people might not notice it, but you are in a jail because each time you see that person, it hurts you, meanwhile, like you said, they're going about their lives. So why do you want to jail yourself when you are free? You're born free and you're supposed to live a happy life. And Divine, for me, I know that, we have to live an abundant life. Anything that takes away that abundant life, I try to take it off my plate, because you cannot live an abundant life when you are grumpy, you're grouchy, you're angry at people who are living their lives. So why give them that time when you can, focus that energy in a positive light to do something that will, enrich your life or bless other people?
This is Chat Night Africa, and my guest tonight My guest on the show today is Geraldine Nchotu. I love calling her Jerry. And you see her smiling, that's the way she smiles all the time. I mean, sometimes you wonder whether this woman ever has any problems in life. Now, before I take you to the next phase of this discussion, Jerry, what's coming on next Sunday will be will cause fireworks. Dr. Eric Tango Munkem will be coming on, and it will also be a big topic. I want to say thank you to the Mankan community. I didn't know, Geraldine, that Chat Night Africa was as popular among Mankan people as, I mean, I attended that just in the convention, and everybody was chat night, chat night, chat night. I want to thank Dr. Ivo Dita in Minnesota for always coming on each time we come knocking. Even at short notice, Dr. Dita is right on the platform. I want to thank Rosetta, and there's so many of you who just support this show. Geraldine, I see a nexus between being unable to say I'm sorry and being unable to give compliments. What do compliments, giving compliments, have you realized that some people just cannot give compliments? They just cannot, have you realized that?
I have, yes, I have.
Sometimes because of jealousy, sometimes anger, and those things.
Jealousy is the number one thing. Jealousy is the number one. Yep, some people, for me, and it stems from self-esteem, you know. Anybody with high self-esteem, if you have confidence in yourself, you don't have any problem complimenting other people. But I've realized that anybody with low self-esteem, sometimes they even don't take compliments kindly. You know, Divine, you know, I would like to, you know, take us away from this. You know, have you ever given a compliment to somebody and you realize they're not happy? Like, you know, I remember one time, you know, I gave a compliment to a lady. I told her, you look really good today. She said, what do you mean? Does that mean I was not looking good before?
Yes, it is. Oh my God. Honestly, if I put myself in your place, I wouldn't be able to continue. I don't know how you continue that conversation. Because here is Jerry, you think that you are slaughtering a cow for somebody, and he takes it and throws it in your face.
Yeah, throws it back at your face. That, oh, what do you mean? So you mean I wasn't looking good before? And it took me, I was taken aback because I was like, hey, I'm talking about today. Honestly, I fell short of words because it's like, I'm telling you, you look nice today. She said, oh, so you mean I didn't? I'm like, for real? So some people are so negative to the extent where, you know, even compliments, you know, makes them, they take it differently.
Makes them mad.
Yeah, makes them mad. So, but, you know, coming back to your issue, you know, your question about, you know, complimenting people, you know, those who don't give compliments is mostly from either, number one, jealousy will make you not to give, you know, give compliments. Number two, low self-esteem. When people have very low self-esteem of themselves, you know, they don't have confidence. So when they don't have confidence, like, you know, I always say this, you cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have confidence, you don't want to make another person feel good about themselves.
Oh, before you go on, Geraldine, I have somebody typed something on the screen. That's Faninji. I told one lady that she looks beautiful, and she asked me if I'm a lesbian. I mean, I just can't comprehend somebody reacting to words of niceness. I mean, just you being nice to somebody. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand. But that should not. That should. Lesbian. A lesbian. Oh Lord. Now go on, Geraldine.
Yep. So
you were talking about low self-esteem.
Yeah, low self-esteem. You know, if you know anyone who doesn't give, you know, who doesn't compliment other people, they're either jealous, they have low self-esteem, or sometimes they're like, you know, and some people, the thing is, they don't mind receiving it. They don't mind receiving compliments, but they don't want to give it because they feel like if they give you compliment, it will make you feel like you're all that. I don't know how to put that. I don't know how to put that.
This is what Minister Veronica and she's that's one of the persons I like to listen to. I talk to a lot, and once she came on my show and said, well, she was advising wives, say women, if you compliment your husband when he comes back home with a bag of groceries, next time he will bring back 5. Every human being loves, even children. Our children want to be complimented. Just say something nice. Say 5 nice things, or give 10 pieces of compliments before you start complaining. They'll give 1 complaint or 1 negative thing. So these are some of the things we've not realized. And it's not only about wives complimenting husbands. Husbands too should compliment their wives. Children should compliment their parents. Imagine the trouble that all of us go through to raise children, and to see an ungrateful child, or an ungrateful wife, or an ungrateful husband, or an ungrateful colleague. It can be heartbreaking. Geraldine, your comments on this?
Yeah. Compliment, like you said, Divine, it's very, very, to me, I look at it like some vitamin that helps to like energize somebody. And sometimes, people, we all are going through stuff. We all are going through something. You're either going through currently, you are coming out of something, or you're walking into something, good or bad. So you might, giving somebody compliment, you might be the only person to brighten up that person's day with that compliment. So why not give it? It doesn't take away from you.
It's not even sold. You don't spend money to get it.
It's not sold, Divine. It's not, you don't lose nothing. You make them feel good about themselves, and guess what? It makes you feel good too, because you've lifted somebody's spirits up. But Divine, because compliments, there are some people who don't give compliments, but then they will say something negative to make you feel bad. I don't want us to talk about compliments without bringing this in, because I personally have experienced this, Divine. I've had situations where, you wear a nice dress, and then somebody comes and points a small hole on that dress.
Look, listen, Gerald, let me share some, and viewers are going to probably relate with this, or relate to this. I went to a wedding. I saw this gentleman in a nice suit, and I asked him, my brother, where did you get this suit from? He said it was too complicated to. I said, I didn't ask how complicated it is to get that suit. I'm just asking where you got it. Now, sometimes they'll tell you that was the last, it was on sale. That was the last one that existed in that shop, or that shop was going out of business, and so they were happy to just be dropping by and pick that one, or they find some reasons. So this guy told me that this suit was sent to him from Douala, Cameroon. I said, great. Can you give me the number of the shop or something? I had all this legion of excuses. And when somebody doesn't want to do something, believe me, the excuses are in abundance, Geraldine.
Abundance, very true, very true.
Is it just that people want to wear something and feel that they are the only person that have that stuff, or what? What is happening? Put yourself in the minds of those people. What's happening, Geraldine?
Yeah. I think, they don't want to. They feel like, that if they tell you you have the same thing like them, you might go there and choose the exact thing like what they're wearing. Or maybe they got it at a good deal and they don't want you to get that deal too. So they want to, keep that shop secret, so they can be the only ones going there to get it. So you don't benefit from, the deal they're having. And then for me, I really, it's hard to put your finger on exactly the reason, but, I'm just guessing. And then, what people fail to understand is that, Divine, that same suit you're wearing, somebody else can go and buy the exact same suit, but it will look different on them. Because we all, come in different shapes and sizes. The fact that, A is wearing something, it looks good on them, it doesn't mean that B, it will look good on B. And besides, you're not running a race with nobody but yourself. So when people don't understand that in life, they feel like, hey, if you wear the same suit, and I don't know.
Did you say, you said something, this comparison, people comparing themselves with other people, and you make a statement which to me is very significant. It's quite telling of how many people, they look at life, they compare, they compare. Once you start comparing yourself with another person, you are lost. Because like I read a post somewhere that life is like an exam. No 2 questions, unfortunately, are the same. Even though. Now, so, Geraldine, I'd like you to say, what is it? And I'd like us to close, because this program is scheduled to be an hour. What is the take-home message? What is that Geraldine Nchotu's magic that you walk into where people are? I watched you 2 Sundays ago, and you were just one happy woman, just making people feel good. What is it that makes you just want to share that infectious persona of Geraldine Nchotu?
Wow. Yep. So to me, life is a gift, and we have to give back. When you have a gift, you can't keep it. If you don't give it back, then that means you don't cherish that gift. I have passed through many experiences, like I said before, many, ups and downs in life, many setbacks. I've lost family members. I've loved, siblings that I love with all my heart. But because, I have realized that life happens to everybody, so I've learned to separate those circumstances from, my relationship with people, with my loved ones, my children, all those who are around me. So I realized if I don't work on myself and try to bring out the best and be that sunshine for, somebody every day, anybody I meet, I feel like, I have to brighten up their life because, everybody has dark days in their life. Like me, I've been through a lot of dark days. So some people meet me and they lift me up because I pull my energy from people. When I see people, it just brings out a glow inside of me. It makes me glow inside out because I know they are like me. They are normal human beings. They have storms, they have trials and tribulations. And I ask myself, Geraldine, what can you give this person? I don't have money to give to people, but I know I have that smile. I can lift their spirits up. So when I go out there every day, my goal is brighten somebody's day, make that person feel happy. Why not everybody that I meet? Make them feel good about themselves, and it makes me feel good about myself because I'm giving the gift that I have. I have been working on, being a better person by reading books to help me get better so that I can make people's life better and make my life better too. So what I do every day is go out there and try to give of that gift of
And
the
one thing
smile
that I
that
want
I
to
have.
share, one thing I want to share with our viewers about anger. One thing I realize anger does, Geraldine, is it clouds good judgment. You just don't think straight when you are angry. And if you're not thinking straight when you are angry, that twisted thinking would definitely lead you into regrettable actions. So when you are angry, remember that the anger at some point will evaporate, but what came out of your mouth to somebody would hardly be forgotten. Think about acting when you are angry. You want to add to that, Geraldine?
Sure. Yep. So when you're angry, just try to, find a way to, vent out your anger, not to somebody, because if you vent it out to somebody, know that, we're not bridges, because with a bridge, when a car runs over a bridge, that bridge remains the same. We're human beings, we're fragile, when, words are like swords. When you release it, and hurt, you stab somebody's heart, you cannot take back that hurt. So it's good to avoid, throwing some words that will, make people feel bad about themselves. Because if they, ask yourself, if somebody tells me this, how will I feel? It will make you, treat other people better. So please, before we say anything to anybody, let's, first, say it internally and see how, if somebody says it to you, how will it make you feel? It will make you treat people the way you want to be treated. Nobody is perfect. Let's work towards, being better every day. And, anything that you have, you can suck it in because it doesn't, hurt to keep your hurt inside of you and just put out flowers, keep the thorns inside. You don't have to hurt everybody you meet because the more thorns, the more people you hurt, people will, stay away from you. And it's not good because in life we're meant to live in a, community. You're not meant to be, nobody is meant, it has to be an island. But when you keep, saying negative things, people run away from you. Before you know, you'll be in a crowd, but you'll be lonely. So please, let's all, be open-minded. Let's embrace change every day. Every day is a new day for us to embrace
and indeed,
change.
you can be in a crowd, but feeling very lonely. Again, I like that line. I think you should come back and give us those nice lines that you have. Share this beautiful smiles that you have. Geraldine, what are your last words on the show What would you like to be remembered for as a human being, by the way?
For me, I want to be remembered as the person who, leaves a positive impact on people's lives. I'm at a point in my life where Divine, I realize, life, like I said before, it's a one-way street. I want to be very positive. I want to lift other people's spirits up. I want people to feel good when they are in my space, because that moment, you will never get it back. So I want people to have a good memory of, me as that positive person who is very uplifting, that person who doesn't leave you the same. If I meet you and you're down, I don't want you to stay down after you walk away from me. And I just want, because I want to be able to glow, like, when you are in my space, just be a blessing to you. And I expect, because I go out there, people have blessed me so much, Divine. I'm standing on so many shoulders. I cannot. And so the only way for me to show my appreciation and my love to my creator and to the people who have blessed me is to be a blessing to as many people as possible. True, we cannot go on in life without hurting some people, but I have no problems apologizing. So if I hurt anybody, I apologize to them, because it doesn't take away from me. It makes me feel better. It actually makes me feel as light as if my feet are on feathers. So every day, I smile, I make people smile, I apologize to those I wrong. And, for me, life is just, we have to, try to be happy. We have to
And
try our best to be happy.
you are a big person. You are a big person when you apologize. Please, if you take one message away from Chat Night Africa Live today, let that message be: do to others what you would like them to do to you. Staying angry hurts you more than the person who caused your anger. Ask yourself, what is the fragrance? The day that you are no longer here, what are people going to say about you? What is the fragrance that you are leaving behind? What are the footprints you would like people see about you? Ask yourself these questions, and life would be a better place. And we can all make the world be a better place, Geraldine. I mean, if we strive to do what is right with what we have and where we function. You have many women watching you. You are in IT. I know you don't want to say that. You are in information technology. What do you want to tell women and young women, young girls growing up? Geraldine, that would be your last statement.
Wow. Yep, to our young women, I just want to tell them, you have the whole world in your hands. It's more beneficial to create friends than to create enemies. It's good to embrace people, because you never know at what point you will need somebody in your life. You never know. The person you meet today, the person you hurt tomorrow, you don't know where you will meet them again in life. This world is a small village. The older you grow, the more you realize that the world is small. So it pays to be good. It pays to, it pays to be polite. It pays to, put yourself in other people's shoes. It pays to help, to treat other people the way you want to be treated. Like they say, people are like elevators. They either take you up or down. It's good to be positive, because you will be an elevator that will take people up. You don't want to be an elevator that takes people down, because it's very energy draining. And, people are dealing with a lot in their lives. Nobody deserves to be, in the space of negative energy. So you want to make sure you build, focus every day to be a better person. Focus to be the light for others to follow you. Focus to be that example that others can emulate. So let's embrace one another. We live in a very imperfect world. We are imperfect, but the goal every day is to try to be better every day. Because we're not running a race with nobody, but with yourself. So for me, every day when I wake up, I'm like, what can I do today that I did not do yesterday? What thing can I do different and better from what I did yesterday? And realize that, what, we're all like thoroughbred horses. Run your own race in your lane. You're not competing with anybody but against you. Are you beating your best every day? Are you being a better person than the person you were before? Thank you guys again, and I look forward to coming again, Divine.
And you will be coming back. That's a promise I make to you this evening. That has been Geraldine Nchotu. I fondly like to call her Jerry. Thank you for those beautiful smiles, my friend. I appreciate your participation at Chat Night Africa. And this Sunday, we will have a moving library called Dr. Eric Tango Munkem. It will be a big topic. Thank you for watching. And Geraldine, have a wonderful week ahead.
Thank you, and you do the same.
On that note, we round off this edition of Chat Night Africa. That has been Chat Night Africa. Divine Chamukong, your host. That has been Chat Night Africa Live. And this is Samba. Samba from Bali. And the author is Pabali. Share this broadcast if you like the content. If a subject matters to you, it matters to us. Chat Night Africa live from Washington, D.C., metropolitan area. Thank you, thank you. Merci à tout le monde. Samba from Bali. And the author is Pabali. This is Chat Night Africa. I will see you again next Sunday.